I had just a couple more that I'd like to state. That says EPA says that if it's under Subtitle C regulations, that it will encourage recycling of coal ash. I don't understand how it's going to encourage recycling. I know EPA says it's because of, disposal is going to be more expensive, so it's going to encourage people. But if it's put under C, then it's going to be looked at as a hazardous waste. And I just don't understand how more people are going to recycle it if it's listed under C, just because of the disposal cost is going to increase and up to from 0 to 6% increase.
Yeah, thank you. We're requesting comment on the stigma argument and the real data, as I've indicated before. In the preamble to the proposal, EPA lists several examples which illustrate that hazardous waste or other materials subject to RCRA Subtitle C are used and recycled. These examples suggest that hazardous waste label does not impose a significant barrier to beneficial use. They include things like electric arc furnace dust, which is a listed hazardous waste, electroplating wastewater sludge, which is a listed hazardous waste, used oil that's regulated under RCRA Subtitle C standards. So we've actually seen the reverse trend to the stigma argument. But again, we are asking for data and information from all the stakeholders and the industries to comment on the stigma argument. But we have seen in other cases the reverse, where recycling rates have actually increased because of the increased disposal cost and the economic aspect of that.
Well, thank you, and I want to thank the EPA and the staff for the work that they have done on this. I think there's still a lot of work to be done, and I think, as always, a compromise is much, much better. And for the recyclers, those people who are lowering the emissions, making better use of a product, making sure that, if we can utilize it in areas that we don't have to stack it on top of one another like happened in Kingston, Tennessee, that we can make a better use of that and utilization of the flash, that will give us an opportunity for small business to continue to grow, not restrict those jobs. But I think we really got to come to a compromise, and I think I think from this entire panel, and this is a very unusual, but the way Congress should be working in a very bipartisan way. I mean, I think you've seen across the board here that we're in agreements that putting it under Subtitle C may create, which has been indicated to us through multiple letters that we have received, that says that the impact, the stigma under Subtitle C would have a devastating impact to small businesses. So we're really hoping that we can bring this back to the middle. We certainly all agree, I think, amongst us, that the disposal part is the real issue here, where it's being disposed on site, and having the geosynthetics and making sure that we can have a proper way to monitor and to regulate that in those site areas is the real issue. And sometimes in Washington, we get all caught up in things and we forget about the small businesses, but this committee never forgets about small businesses. And it's across the board that we want to make sure that they're taken care of and it doesn't have such a huge impact on them. Because some of them are mom-and-pop operations that have been in business for a very long time, conducted themselves in the appropriate manner, and look what the positive things that we're gaining from it. Lowering our carbon footprint, lowering emissions. So I really want us to be able to work together, and I'm hoping that through this committee and the others with jurisdiction that we can have some good dialogue with the EPA, and obviously the input from the community. And I know that that's what you're waiting for. And for the record, just kind of a housekeeping, for the record, someone will be staying from the EPA to listen to our next panel, because that's real important. That's one of the most important things, to be able to listen. They're our constituents. They're our people. And so we want to make sure that you can hear them as well.
No, and I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I personally can't stay as I have another meeting with the administrator, but I do have Amy Hayden through our Office of Congressional and Intergovernmental Affairs, and Randy Dietz, who is our senior advisor to our office in the Office of Solid Waste and Emergency Response. They will be staying on to hear and welcome any input both at this hearing and throughout the public comment process on all aspects, including the impact to small business. We definitely want to hear and consider all those factors as I indicated in my testimony.
Well, I want to thank you for your time and your commitment to this, and I truly feel that there's a solution and that we can come to a great compromise and get this thing resolved and worked out in a way that everyone wins. And that's what we try to. Not everyone can win always, but we try to. I think in this situation, I think we can all win on this. So, thank you so much, and
Thank you.
thank you for your testimony. And this time we'll have the second panel come forward.
Okay.